Well, if it's good enough for the Pope, it should be good enough for the people of Davidson, South Carolina. But that's not the case with this life-size bronze statue depicting Jesus sleeping on a park bench covered in a blanket. The statue was installed outside of St. Albans Episcopal Church in Davidson, South Carolina, and it has created a stir among the community, which is a relatively affluent community. Cindy Castano Swanek, who is also she's a resident and happens to be president of AMG Financial Services. She saw it and called the police because she thought there was a homeless person sleeping on the bench. She says, "I was concerned for the safety of the neighborhood." "Oh, look out, there's a man on the bench." The Reverend David Buck, the rector of St. Albans, said this about the piece. He says, "It gives authenticity to our church. This is a relatively affluent church. To be honest, we need to be reminded ourselves that our faith expressed itself in active concern for the marginalized of society." So he has his head in the right place.
Yeah.
It had been put there by money that was donated by a parishioner who has passed away. And the artist, he tried to get it in several different places, St. Patrick's Cathedral, St. Michael's Cathedral in Toronto, and they all rejected it. So he took a half-size scale version of this statue and he took it to the Vatican in Rome. And he put it out in St. Peter's Square. It was put out there while the Pope was speaking on his regular Wednesday speech that he gives out there. The Pope saw it, walked over to it, was so taken by it that he did a prayer and blessed it and accepted it into the Vatican. It was quite a thing for the artist. And this is the artist here, meeting the Pope himself. So, although Cindy Castano Swanek said, "That's not who Jesus is. Jesus is not a vagrant. Jesus is not a helpless person who needs our help. We need someone who is capable of meeting our needs, not someone who is also needy." In other words, she's saying...
Wait, is she talking about the same Jesus who was crucified? Is this
yeah.
the same person that needed our help? And
she wants a Jesus who's going to take care of her. And, so... but the Pope had no problem with it. He actually, he blessed it and took it into the Vatican. It's going to be in one of the homes in the Vatican. And that's the half-size model there. The artist himself, who is Timothy Smaltz, he said this. The Pope, he walked over to the sculpture, and it was just chilling because he touched the knee of the Jesus, the homeless sculpture, closed his eyes and prayed, and then he blessed the piece. And he said, to have Pope Francis bless your sculpture is one of the most amazing experiences possible.
Yeah, you just kind of can't hate the guy. I mean, Pope Francis is really demonstrated that he's incredibly progressive in terms of popes, especially. I mean, just recently he decided to say goodbye to the Pope-mobile and go and hang, be with the people and take photographs with them. He's much more approachable, and I think it's because of this.
Yeah, it's hard to hate on him.
Yeah,
and
you can't.
What an experience for this artist to have, to go over there and have this experience. And this is him in his studio talking about the piece as he's making it. Let's take a look.
It's something that people understand through a process. They don't get the message right away, or hopefully they won't get the message right away. First of all, they hopefully will think it's a real person. And in a second, they'll realize it's a bronze sculpture. And in third, they'll realize it's Jesus Christ. So it's kind of theater in a sense, where there's it's sequential how someone understands the piece or how the piece unfolds, which is really great, I feel.
So you wouldn't know that it's supposed to be Jesus. It just looks like a homeless person on the bench until you get close to it and you look at the feet, and there's actually the crucifixion wounds on the feet. And it's supposed to be a reference to the book of Matthew, in which Jesus tells his disciples, I was hungry and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, you did not welcome me. They said, no, we didn't do that. And he said, as you did not do it to one of the least of these, you did not do it to me.
So it's reminding us, right, that according to Christianity, Christ is in all of us. We are all part of something bigger.
Yeah, and you see homeless people and you kind of go, get out of the way, but it brings that right in your face. Pope Francis, or as they call him, Papa Francesco, that's what he's called in Italy. He took the name St. Francis, who himself on a pilgrimage to Rome, joined the poor in begging at St. Peter's Basilica. Pretty rad dude. And congratulations to the artist, Timothy Schmaltz. He's making other versions of this now because other churches now want this in front of theirs. So pretty rad.